All right, kicking off another deep dive with you today. And we're going to be diving into the world of specialty coffee roasters, specifically their websites. We've got a great article here from Site Design and Now W. It's called Essential Features for Successful Specialty Coffee Roaster Websites. So whether you're a coffee enthusiast thinking about starting your own thing, or maybe just curious about how coffee and the digital world kind of collide, this is going to be a fun one, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting how these websites, they're not just shops online anymore, right? They're really kind of curated experiences, almost like you're stepping into your favorite cafe, but digitally.
Okay, let's break down the first thing the article highlights. They talk about detailed coffee product listings. It might sound obvious, but imagine like walking into a coffee shop and all the bags are just blank. No roast level, no origin, nothing.
It'd be like going into a wine shop and grabbing a bottle with no label you wouldn't know anything about.
Exactly. So online, these detailed product descriptions are super key. The article really dives into how important it is to include flavor profiles, origin information, tasting notes. I love how they give those specific examples, like chocolatey tones for an Ethiopian roast, or citrusy zing when they're describing those Costa Rican beans.
Yeah, it's about painting that picture, right? Helping customers really imagine what that coffee is going to taste like. And ultimately, I think it reduces that purchase anxiety, because when you're spending a bit more on specialty coffee, you want to feel confident you're getting what you're paying for.
Yeah, it's like that moment you have with a barista where they kind of help you find the right coffee.
But online.
Exactly. So moving on to another feature, customizable subscription options. It's huge these days. And I think it's more than just convenience. It's about creating a ritual around coffee.
Oh, totally. There's something so nice about knowing that your next bag of coffee is already taken care of.
And what's great is these websites are getting really flexible with their models. You can choose how often you get deliveries, change your order, pause if you need to. It's like having your own personal coffee concierge. The article also mentioned that some roasters are offering perks for subscribers too. Things like discounts or early access to new blends.
Yeah, those little touches make a big difference. It's all about building that loyalty, you know? And the data actually shows that roasters who offer subscriptions see a much higher customer lifetime value.
That makes sense. People are more likely to stick around when they feel appreciated. All right, so we've talked about detailed listings and subscriptions. Now let's jump into something that's really important to a lot of coffee lovers these days, sustainability.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, because it goes beyond just the beans themselves. It's about transparency and values. Today's coffee drinker, especially those into specialty, they want to know where their beans come from. How are the farmers being treated? What are the roasters' environmental practices?
It reminds me of how restaurants, they've started to highlight the farms where they get their ingredients. It's like adding a story to the food.
Exactly, and the article makes a really good point about showcasing those sustainability efforts right on the website. It's about highlighting things like ethical sourcing, fair trade certifications, sustainable harvesting, even eco-friendly packaging.
Yeah, they even had some questions that roasters should ask themselves, like, are your beans from a single origin farm that's doing sustainable farming?
Yeah.
Do you encourage eco-friendly packaging?
Yeah.
Those are things that really resonate with people today.
Absolutely. It's about aligning your brand with your customers' values. And there's research that shows that people, especially younger generations, are willing to pay more for products that are ethical and sustainable. They want to feel good about their purchases.
Right. It's not just a bonus anymore, it's expected. I mean, I know I feel better about my coffee when I know it came from a farm that treats its workers well and cares for the environment.
It's about building that trust and going beyond just a simple transaction.
Okay, speaking of building trust, let's talk about customer reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I rely on reviews all the time online, especially for stuff I haven't tried before.
Reviews are huge these days. It's like getting a recommendation from a friend. You're way more likely to trust what other customers say.
And it's not even just about the star ratings, it's the actual comments. You can get a feel for different flavor profiles, brewing methods, even the customer service experience.
That's so true. It goes beyond just the coffee. Did the order arrive on time? Was the packaging good? Were there any problems? And if so, how were they handled? All those details build up the brand's reputation.
So let's say you found a roaster whose values match yours. You've read amazing reviews. And your bag of freshly roasted, ethically sourced beans arrives. What's next?
Got to figure out how to brew those beans, right? That's where the brewing guides come in.
Yeah, you're totally right. When I first got into specialty coffee, I was so overwhelmed by all the different brewing methods. Pours over, French press, AeroPress, cold brew. It was like learning a whole new language.
There's definitely an art to each method. And even tiny changes can make a big difference in how your coffee turns out. So having good brewing guides on the website can be super helpful.
The article talks about how these guides can really make the customer experience better. It's almost like having a coffee expert right there with you, walking you through everything. They even mentioned including guides for different methods, like pour over, French press, espresso.
It's about making it easy for people to make great coffee at home, no matter what kind of beans they have or what method they prefer, making it more approachable and fun.
And it's not just about giving instructions. It's those little details that can really up your coffee game. Like for French press, they might talk about using a coarse grind and letting it steep for the right amount of time. Or with pour over, they might mention different pouring techniques and how those can affect the extraction.
It's those little things that can make a huge difference, and it ties back to that idea of creating a ritual around your coffee. It's not just about the caffeine, it's about slowing down, enjoying the process, and appreciating the flavors.
I love that. It's like turning your kitchen into your own personal coffee lab. All right, so we've talked about these individual features, but what about how it all comes together, like the overall experience of the website?
Yeah, the article talked about how a website should really reflect what the brand is all about. It's not just about having a checklist of features. It's how they all work together to tell a story.
It's like when you walk into a physical coffee shop, right? You get a sense of the vibe right away. Is it a cozy little neighborhood spot, a modern roastery,
Okay.
a bustling cafe?
Yeah, exactly. And the website should feel like an extension of that.
So it's not just the look of the website, it's how it works too. Like how easy is it to find what you're looking for? Can you easily manage your subscription?
Definitely. A smooth user experience is so important. Nobody wants to be clicking through tons of menus or trying to figure out how to place an order. It should be simple and enjoyable.
And maybe they have a section with FAQs about brewing or blog with tips and tricks about coffee.
It's about going above and beyond to create a really immersive experience, making people feel like they're part of a coffee community.
So to recap, we've talked about detailed product listings, customizable subscriptions, sustainability, customer reviews, and informative brewing guides.
And how those all work together to make a really great website that reflects the brand.
But there's always more to explore, right? The world of specialty coffee is always changing. And so are the ways roasters connect with customers online.
For sure. And that's what's so exciting about it. There's always something new to discover.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we want to leave you with something to think about. Beyond those key features, what else makes a coffee website really stand out?
What makes you want to go back for more?
Share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation going. You know, it's funny how we talk about the digital world, like it's this separate thing, but with something like specialty coffee, it all kind of blends together.
It is interesting how these websites can bridge that gap, though, right?
Yeah, they're bringing that sensory experience of coffee online, even though you can't actually smell or taste it through the screen.
It's true.
Like some websites have these incredible photos of the beans, you can practically feel them.
Yeah, and the descriptions, they use such vivid language. You can almost taste the coffee just from reading.
It's like they're appealing to all your senses, even though it's digital.
Oh, and some even have videos that take you to a coffee farm. You get to see the whole journey of the beans.
Oh, yeah. I've even seen some websites use sound effects, like you click on a blend and you hear the beans grinding.
Those little details are so cool.
And what about those interactive elements? Like virtual coffee tastings. You can learn about different flavors and brewing methods from home.
It's like they're gamifying the coffee experience, making it more fun.
Yeah, I've seen quizzes that help you find your perfect blend too.
It all comes back to connecting with the customer and building a community around coffee.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about selling coffee. It's about sharing a passion.
Yeah, and that passion comes through online. When you visit a website that's clearly made with care, you're drawn in.
Definitely. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored those key features for successful specialty coffee roaster websites, detailed product listings, customizable subscriptions, highlighting sustainability, the power of customer reviews, and the importance of those informative brewing guides.
And how it all comes together to create a great experience online.
But most importantly, I think, we've highlighted the power of connection, especially in the digital age.
So next time you're on a coffee roaster's website, take a moment to appreciate the thought and effort behind it.
Remember, there's a whole story behind those beans, from farm to cup. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Happy brewing, everyone.